statement. That's a restaurant, and yes, it's in China, but there are human beings too. That yellow is a person who is asymptomatic and infected, and all those other red circles are other diners who that one diner passed the virus to. All those other people became infected in a restaurant that had air conditioning, and they believe it was the air conditioning which helped the virus spread to all those other people.
And you remember the Legionnaire's disease in 1976 in Philadelphia came all through the air conditioning. You don't remember because you're younger.
I do remember.
Typhoid Mary, who I think passed away, well, anyway, during the late 30s, rode the buses, was a cook, and she was asymptomatic, and she spreaded a fear of getting typhoid, and she never showed a sign of it. And she lived most of her life quarantined. The reality was, I think 58 people passed away from typhoid. And so we're aware of this. We've learned from history. We've had Ebola. We've had the West Nile. We've had polio. We've had these horrific,
none of those were as
painful,
infectious in Las Vegas. I mean, you didn't have people with Ebola on a casino floor. You know what? If you did,
we don't know that.
Well, yeah, you do, because if you had it...
A neighbor of mine died from West Nile because the swimming pool on the next property was filled with mosquitoes, and the people who had abandoned the house left the pool full. So we live with this. This is part of life.
Just as mayor,
the challenges.
As mayor, are you not concerned when you see just that restaurant graphic, how air conditioning spreads this and other people become infected?
Yes, from Legionnaire's disease. That's just what I said. We lost a lot of people in that hotel who had gone ahead and been in the hotel and there were steps,
right? And there were steps to take to stop that by changing the air filtering, if my memory serves me correct, on Legionnaire's disease. There are not yet the steps to take with this, other than social distancing.
Right. So people do that. I mean, I love watching our people here. They're so careful. And even as we have, we work every single day. I have not missed a day. And anybody who is in or comes into the office that needs an appointment or has an issue, they all are with their masks on, or we always enforce social distancing. And the office is absolutely pristine with germ-free.
You're talking about your office?
Well, hopefully everything in the building. We've shut down the lobby. But we've not had a problem.
I mean, you know how... Look, Mayor, you love your city, and I get you want it to go back to work, and I totally get that, and you hear from people, and you're in a really tough position. I get it. But it just seems really irresponsible, given that, A, you actually have no responsibility or say over casinos or what happens on the Strip, that you're not out there doing anything about... You're not doing anything about trying to improve testing like your friend Mayor Garcetti is doing in Los Angeles, or improve contact tracing. You're simply sitting there and saying, get back to work, get these casinos open again, and you have no idea or plan, or you've done nothing to try to figure out, well, what's the best way to make that happen? How far apart should, a dealer be from the people? How, should the hours... I mean, you're offering nothing other than being a cheerleader, which I guess is what part of your job is, and I respect that. And you seem like a very nice person, but I don't understand. Do you not have any sense of responsibility if you're calling for something to at least try to work to make it as safe as possible?
I speak with the owners of our city casinos every day, almost. And they're all in such pain of having to furlough or let everybody go in the casinos.
Yeah, I'm sure the casino owners are very sad. I get that.
Well, no, they're very sensitive people that care about their employees and having shut down the businesses here. These are people, not the Strip hotels. That's under the jurisdiction of the county, our unincorporated county. Our jurisdiction here,
I'm sure,
Las Vegas.
My heart doesn't. I mean, casino owners. I'm sure they're probably doing okay. It's the people who are working on the floor who are the ones who are going to become infected and potentially die.
No, you're talking disease. I'm talking life. I'm talking life and living. These are people who have had to abandon. Las Vegas. they've had to release all these workers that have no other source of income to feed their children. And they're also having to make a way to go ahead and help support the city, so at the time it opens,
usually the ones releasing the
can come
workers
back.
are generally doing okay. They're they're the ones
Maybe
who
they
have a
are.
lot more money. It's the ones who are actually
You're
released
on
who
the
are
wrong
really
side of
suffering.
the fence. I am talking about the workers. I'm
Okay.
talking about the low-income, middle-income
Oh.
workers that are out free and without a dime in
Right,
their
you're actually talking about
pockets.
casino owners, your
And
friends, but
no, I'm not
now you
talking
switched.
about casinos.
Right, well, you were, but
No,
now
I'm
you've switched.
on
But
the
go ahead.
same. No, I go back to everything
My
I
stomach
say.
hurts.
It's been always about putting our workers back to work. It is not about the casinos. It's not about anything other than putting those who've lost their jobs in a city that wasn't broken and didn't have disease back to work. We're 2.3 million people here. We have over 900,000.
3,900 cases in Nevada, 163 deaths, and that's with social distancing. You're saying there was in Nevada. You're saying there was no problem in Las Vegas, like there was no disease, there was not the virus in Las Vegas? Because earlier you said you believe everyone's asymptomatic.
I'm sure in January, and I know plenty of people who were coughing. Some had fevers, and if they did, they stayed home because they thought it was the flu. The flu is unbelievably powerful still, and so of course we know that. We tried to work on the sensitivities of people to be responsible as to spreading any kind of germ, whether it's the flu.
But don't you think that it's worked
something.
in Nevada, in Las Vegas, social distancing? Don't you think it's worked? Because I mean, 163 deaths, that is compared to some other states, that's low for those families.
We're 2.3.
All that matters.
2.3 million people in southern Nevada, and we've had 150 deaths. We
163, I believe, is the latest number, actually.
Wrong.
But
that's for Nevada. That's Nevada. This is down here, 150.
okay. So you've had almost all
million.
the deaths, by the way, in Nevada, you've had in Las Vegas. So you've had 150 deaths out of
Correct.
163
We're
deaths.
2.3
Isn't that
million people
because
here.
of social
The
distancing
state
that you would have had far
state-
more without it? Do you not
We're
believe that?
2.3 million here. There are 3 million overall in the state. The numbers may be off, but I know we're well over 2 million.
Do you not believe social distancing has helped keep people alive?
We're at the lion's share of the population and the income and the jobs. When you have 2.3 million and you have lost, and every one of those 150, oh my gosh, it could be your own mother, your own grandmother, your grandfather, your brother, your sister, anybody, every one of those lives is a tragic loss. But when you count 150 versus 2.3 million, you have to say, we have to open up. We have to go back. Our bus drivers, our
But hasn't it been
cleaners,
because of
our
social
restaurants.
distancing that the numbers have been what they are?
How do you know until we have a control group? We offer to be a control group. Anybody who knows anything about statistics knows that, for instance, you have a vaccine.
You're offering
the
citizens of Las Vegas to be a control group to see if your theory on social distancing works or doesn't work.
Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Don't put words in my mouth.
You just said we'll be a control group.
Excuse me. What I said was, I offered to be a control group, and I was told by our statistician, you can't do that because people from all parts of southern Nevada come in to work in the city. And I said, oh, that's too bad, because I know when you have a disease, you have a placebo that gets the water and the sugar, and then you get those that actually get the shot. We would love to be that placebo side to measure it. So all the data until
you want to get the placebo. You don't want to get the actual. No, the group who gets the placebo, by the way, usually gets the short end of the stick.
Well, you don't know. How do you know when you're in part of that group? You are.
Mayor, if casinos reopen, are you going to be inside those casinos every single night, putting your own life on the line?
I have lived in this town for 56 years.
Are you going to go to casinos every night and put your life on the line, like all the workers you say you were there holding their hands?
They don't need it. We weren't broken. We tragically have 150 people we lost. Tragic. We have 2.3 million people here.
I haven't heard
and
you
we
say
have
yes that you would
43
be sitting on those casino floors every night along with the people that you say you are holding their hands with.
What is the purpose of that? First of all, I have a family,
Because
and
it
I
would be
cook every
putting your
meal
money.
every
It would be
night.
putting
What are
money
you
where your
doing?
mouth is, to use a, I guess.
Ooh.
Anderson.
Woo!
Anderson.
Okay, so you're not willing to sit on the
Anderson,
casino
listen.
floors with them when they're reopened and breathe the
First of
refiltered
all,
air.
First of all, I don't gamble. I used to gamble when we first came to town. I don't have the time. I work 7 days a week. I have so many things that I have to attend to. I
Great.
can't
I
sit
wouldn't
on
want
a
to sit on those
casino
floors either.
floor.
I wouldn't want to sit on the floors
Well.
either. I'm with you on that one. Mayor Carolyn Goodman, I appreciate your time, and I wish you the best for the people you're sitting.
And I know I went to school right around the corner from where you grew up on the East River.
Oh, that's nice. Well, thanks. You know, I would just advise you to talk to Mayor Garcetti about what you might be able to do to improve testing because testing and contact tracing is the way forward, according to every scientist.
Well,
so.
I have spoken with him about the homeless, which are of greatest concern to me, and about our middle income and low income families that are now shut out of work and earning a livelihood. And so that's where he and I talk, because the reality
well, you can talk about
is,
testing, because I would. That's important too.
That's not my job, unfortunately. Sadly,
Oh
it's
my
not my job.
gosh.
Everybody should
Woo!
be
I guess Mayor Garcetti has a
character,
larger
not
job
limited.
portfolio than you do.
Oh!
Yes. Thank you.
All right. I wish you the best. Thanks very much. Our special
Thank
coverage
you.
continues with Brianna Keeler.